Welcome back to 1 Million Pumpkins Ranch for more public displays of homesteading. And this time you see me in our utility room in the container. And I'm at our standing freezer, so I'm going to change gears here. Okay, so you may have seen one of my posts, and it showed this freezer chock full of all of our USDA packed lamb. And now not so much. I mean, there's still some in here, but it has a lot of the harvest. Each of these bags has 2 pounds of tomatoes. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a leg of lamb there. And then these ones are roasted tomatoes and tomatillos. Some of them have peppers and onions in them. Those are each 1 quart. And there's 4 times 4, so 16 quarts. And then also there's lamb bone broth. Now this tub has, looks like rabbit rib cage, looks like lamb rib cage. And there's a few lamb chops left. These things are so good. This one is from the 4-year-old, and you can't even tell the difference. So that's the benefit of having the little American black bellies. You know, get some lambs out of them, and then you can still enjoy them as delicious as baby lamb. Roasted tomatoes. Yeah, so there's a lot in there. And here, 2 pounds each. Some of these are these ones are the Amish paste. Another couple of little lamb chops. Maybe switch those out. And then some of these are dinner savers, like lamb, barley, cabbage, and squash, all grown here on the property. There's another couple of cuts of lamb there, here, that we raised ourselves, and then we took to the local USDA processor. And here are all the soup bones that we still have left. So I like to roast those in the oven, and then I put them in the Instapot for 2 hours, and I get a nice, rich, meaty lamb bone broth. And here in the door, we've got, we traded some lamb for pork spare ribs. These are dog treats, rabbit feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means 16 more pounds of tomatoes, a couple bags of peppers, and our very last Italian sausage. So that is how 251 pounds of lamb turned into mostly recipe starting tomatillos and roasted tomatoes and raw tomatoes to make tomato sauce and stews. Now tonight, I'm solo for Thanksgiving, so that's why I'm doing this marathon of live streams. I'm just showing you life on the homestead, and hopefully you can join me in the gratitude. I'm so grateful to have this opportunity. Speechless about it, in fact. Just a moment to give praise to our Lord Jesus Christ and God in heaven. Thank you so much for this abundance. Now we have our chest freezer. And this is what I'm going to be making tonight. I already have one in the kitchen. There's some more. Let's see, that's a chicken neck. And then sometimes we freeze ice blocks. But mostly this chest freezer has rabbits in it. There's some little fertilizer should we need it. There's another rack of ribs from the lambs, but all of these are rabbits. And rabbit is the best homestead animal. We raised 109 pounds. 109 pounds of rabbit for the year 2025. And I feel so grateful for that. And so since I already have the chicken that I'm going to have for dinner in the refrigerator, I figured we would go out and pick the herbs that will go in my dinner tonight. I'm holding down the homestead by myself today, this holiday. Matt and Ivan went down to the valley to Matt's parents, and they are smoking one of our turkeys for the holiday. And I'm gonna stew one of our chickens. So here we are, back in the garden. Hi, Darlene. Darlene's such a honker. Hi, Darlene. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I brought my statistics for what all we raised this year. And I posted that on my page. But right here is some rosemary. So I did not bring the tripod. Hi, Darlene. Let's see if we can get a cool angle. There's Darlene. So, rosemary. I'm going to put you back like that again. That's kind of fun. I'm going to put this piece of paper in my pocket. Okay, now I'm going to pick some thyme. Pardon my hand being in the way. Excuse me, Darlene. This is Darlene and her child, Blackie, and her chicken chick, Big Brother. And we're picking herbs for the dinner this evening. And I'm hoping that the squishy stuff I just crawled on isn't what I think it might be. I can chop this for some time. There we go. And I'm going to get up and get some sage. Oh wait, there's also some celery. Nice fresh celery. And it's cut and come again. You can hack that off and it'll come back. Hello. And look at Whitey. Whitey looks so happy, so relaxed. having a nice time. Love you, Whitey. Whoops. So that was the sage. Oh, I forgot the sage. But here's the parsley. So we'll have parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme with the chicken tonight. So I'm making, for those of you who just joined, I'm making a homestead dinner tonight with pretty much everything raised here off-grid in northern Arizona. So right now I'm picking the herbs to go with my homestead chicken. Okay, hopefully that reconnected. So grateful to have this garden and to have this homestead. What I'm grateful for. I'd love to hear from you. So drop something down in the comments. And if you like what you see, and subscribe. And if you click the notification bell, you'll know when I randomly pop on. You can also check out the backlog of videos about our homestead journey here. We've just completed our 4th year off-grid in Apache County, Arizona. So now we're coming over here to the sage plant. And I say, oh, because look what those naughty birds did. I might have to usher them out. But close that back up. Hopefully that'll be fine. It hasn't sprouted yet, so it should be all good. And I'm gonna grab some sage to go with the chicken dinner. There we go. Okay, so that's my herb blend. I'm gonna go inside and start cooking dinner. Live turkeys on Thanksgiving Day. They're out enjoying the garden. Guardian dog taking a nap. Hi there, Amarok. You're a good boy. Sounds like somebody laid an egg. Knocked down the food in the scooper. Oh well. It was for them anyway. Alright. Now it's time for off-grid cooking. Oh, gotta stop and say hi to the turkeys, of course. Brondo. He's a badass, big old Brondo. Woohoo! Tom Jones. Wonkers. And the Bronzinas. And back there is Little Blue. That's the turkey gang. Okay. We're gonna head inside. I gotta start my dinner in the Instapot. It's gonna take like 45 minutes of pressure cooking. So we left a three-bedroom house in the city on 1/10 of an acre. and we moved into a fifth wheel RV on 40 acres. So that's kind of great, isn't it? So I'm gonna hook you up here. There we go. I think that's working. And it's kind of warm in here. Ta-da. And let's see what we can do here to make, it's going to be pretty much all Homestead supplies except for like salt, pepper, and some dried beans. So I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine and we're going to get to it. I wish I had music. YouTube doesn't like when you do music though, does it? Like they want to get you with a copyright strike for that. There's the herbs I just picked. All right, so what should be the order of operations? So I think I would like to rinse off the beans. I've got 2 packs, and I'm going to do 4 cups. So we're making a Homestead chicken bean soup type of thing. I want 4 cups of beans, Great Northern beans. Okay, I've got my Instapot. Oh, I forgot 2 things I forgot. I mean, even though that's going to get pressure cooked for a good while, I gotta wash my hands. I'm not some kind of barbarian just because I live in a trailer in the middle of nowhere. So when we first got here, there was absolutely no development. It was just wilderness, and we stayed in a tent and washed our hands with like a 5-gallon tap jug, you know, like a thermos jug. All right, I need to get the trivet. That's the other thing. Keeps it from sticking in the Instapot. So I don't know if you can tell. There's the Instapot over there. Maybe that's a better angle. So here we go once again. 4 cups. 4 cups of Great Northern white beans. Go into the Instapot. That's 2. Those are practically 2 cups. So I'm just going to put them in there. I'll make 4 cups. Right, so these beans are the only thing that I'm putting in here that we did not grow on the property. So I'll show you in a minute. Okay, that's all the beans. And then next, I've got tomatillos that I already prepared. So these are all cut up tomatillos that I grew. That's going in. And then we have, I'm not going to put it in yet because it's still kind of thawing to get it loose of the shrink wrap. But one of our chickens from the cockerels that we dispatched a couple weeks ago. So that was a 3.75 pounder. He was a big, beautiful boy. Man, these cockerels, they're so robust. Our hens raised them. They brood naturally, hatch naturally, and then they have free range. And the mamas take care of them. And they stick around until they start wanting to fight everybody, and then they become my Thanksgiving dinner. So that goes in the Instapot. And I know I said I was going to do that next, but I want to make sure everything fits because I have a lot to put in there. Okay. Up next, I'm going to dump this. Get that out of the way. Because when you're trying to cook homestead style in a tiny home kitchen, it's kind of hard. It's kind of a juggling act. So I picked this RV specifically for the peninsula kitchen. This peninsula kitchen with the rear lounge back there, and then we've got our bedroom upstairs. And that just seems to be optimal for us. It's perfect for a little tiny home. So up next I have some Cherokee purples that I grew here on the property. I don't need to say that anymore because everything you're going to see here I grew here on the property. I mean, it's a family affair, but it's me talking to you, so I'm just saying it. We grew, okay? We're a family of 3. Me, my husband, and our 26-year-old. Our son, Ivan. And the guys went down to the valley to have Thanksgiving with his parents, with Matt's parents. And I'm here watching the Homestead. And when I was growing up, I remember on Thanksgiving, on TV, people would either watch sports ball or they would watch the Twilight Zone Marathon. Do you guys remember the Twilight Zone Marathon on TV? Do they still do that? Do you know? You can answer in the comments. But anyways, this is kind of like a Twilight Zone marathon. It's a homesteading marathon, so I've been live streaming throughout the day, just showing you daily life off-grid in northern Arizona, where I am trying to close the loop of permaculture, gardening, and ultimately agroforestry when I can get the infrastructure and the water going. And I've got a bunch of tree seeds, but anyways, we raise chickens, rabbits, turkeys, and sheep. So I started off by showing everyone the utility room with our standing chest freezer. In July, we had 251 pounds of lamb in there that we had processed. Support your local meat processor. That's how you achieve decentralized meat production. There's so much crazy stuff going on with the beef industry right now. And a lot of it comes to the choke point of there not being enough local processing. Now here is a garlic that I grew this year. Our garlic has started to go bad, so fingers crossed that this is still going to be okay. And cheers to a happy Thanksgiving for everyone. I hope you're experiencing love, kindness, peace, and joy with your friends and family today. Yeah, so Anyways, we wanted to escape the insanity of industrial food. That was a big reason why we came out here. Not the only reason, but a big reason why we came out here. And it's pretty tough to start. I'm a city girl, well, suburban, whatever. I had a micro farm in the suburbs before we came out here. So I was doing that thing. Oh, I don't know if this one's any good. No, that one's not good. That's sometimes the problem with Homestead food is I didn't preserve these right, so they were exposed to too much sun and whatnot. That one seems alright. Anyways, I was doing the Homestead where you are learning curve, living in San Bernardino, California. But I had a micro food forest, and we had rabbits and laying hens. And our last year there, with mature fruit trees that were planted long before we got there. But the year I measured, we raised 1,000 pounds of produce that year on 1/10 of an acre, right smack in the middle of the city of San Bernardino. So anyways, they would not allow us to have hooved animals and other things like that. Various reasons, so we came out here. We got an amazing deal on this land. We've got 40 acres. We've only got like 4.5 acres fenced. But yeah, that's plenty to try to work. You don't need more than that if you're just trying to homestead. Like if we were adjacent to open range with just the 4.5 acres, it'd be fine because we haven't really touched the rest of the 40 acres. Like the 35 acres that we haven't touched. Alright, so now I have some red onions that I harvested in July. And these are starting to sprout. So the ones that start sprouting, those ones I'm probably going to stick back in the ground. Because at least there'll be alive plants growing in the garden, and they will also bloom and make seeds and just kind of naturalize in the vegetable garden. And that's what I want. I want for the garden to become like regenerative and keep on making seeds, keep on reproducing with minimal inputs. I'm trying to close the loop of vegetable gardening and animal husbandry. So trying to ultimately grow all of our animal food on site, grow as many vegetables as possible, and if we have surplus, share that surplus forward into the community, either by offering fresh produce for sale or donating. There's a lot of hungry people out there, and we have donated eggs to the food pantry before, and hopefully eventually produce more stuff. I kind of want to do a stone soup there where they do kind of a swap meet farmer's market and have my Instapot going and just kind of demonstrate how you can feed your family with stuff that you grow yourself. Alright, so let's see, I've got a couple peppers. And these keep getting a little bit uglier every week that goes by since I harvested them at the end of October. But they're perfectly fine. So when they're just leathery like that, they're totally fine. And this one, it already had blemishes on it that I would cut away. So no biggie. So I welcome any of you to share. How's your holiday going? Are you having a holiday? Do you celebrate this holiday? What's going on with you? What are you thankful for? Where's the abundance in your life? That one has insect damage on the inside, so the chickens are going to enjoy that instead of me. That's the other thing, is that if you have chickens and your vegetables are not up to par, no problem, the chickens will take care of those. I already put, quite a few tomatillos in there, like a solid quart of diced tomatillos in there. So it's not going to lack for flavor. I don't like the pith and seeds, so I take those out mostly. So the channel Roots and Refuge likes to say that store-bought tomatoes taste like disappointment, and all the homegrown goods are like that. Like, you'll never go back to a store-bought chicken after you have a free-range Homestead cockerel. They're like completely different animals. So with these, oh, woo, they're strong. They make me want to cough. Woo! So if you're just joining me, I am holding down the homestead while my men folks are down in the valley visiting my husband's parents. And so I decided to do a marathon live stream day sharing my life as an off-grid homesteader. Excuse me. Woo-wee. These chili peppers are making me like cough and cry, and just like my nose is running like crazy. Woo! I don't think they're that hot. They're just really strong. They're only Anaheims. Ooh. That goes in. Oh. Okay. And now for the fun part. Here's the herbs that we harvested today, that you walked with me and harvested today. I'm going to rinse those off. Oh, I haven't weighed them, but so that's like why my stats keep coming out kind of wrong, because I took them and I just want to freaking put them in the stew. I don't want to mess around and weighing stuff. But it's only when you get the numbers. I watch a lot of farming and market garden podcasts and videos, and I was just watching one today about how important weighing everything and doing a spreadsheet is to continued success in farming. How organized are you? Do any of you garden heavily or raise animals? Are you a homesteader? What kind of record keeping do you do for your home production? Even if you're a suburban homesteader, or even just have potted plants on your balcony in the city? Do you keep track of how much herbs you grow, or what kind of progress your worms make? There we go. Part of my deal on this channel is showing people that this can be done, that you can do this. Like, the only thing special about me is that I'm completely obsessed with doing this. This is my magnum opus, is to succeed at creating this permaculture homestead. And so I will do anything that it takes to succeed in closing the loop and having a regenerative, productive, sustaining farm that spills out past its edges and creates even more food for the surrounding community. That's really winning. Just growing food for us, I mean, that's winning. Not gonna deny, that's awesome. These beautiful thyme sprigs. I'm gonna put those in their hole. Nobody got time to shuck any thyme. Nobody got time. Anyways, put those in whole. I think I'm gonna do the same with the rosemary sprigs as well. And then my beloved husband is messaging me, but you'll just have to wait. Let's see. I'm not gonna put the sage in whole. Forgot what I was talking about, but it's probably the best, isn't it? Yeah, so if you're just joining me, I am preparing my own Thanksgiving feast from produce from our homestead. The only thing that I did not grow was the beans. We raised the chicken, and the mamas are the ones that brought up those chickens. We raised all these vegetables, and we are off the grid, so we had to haul water. We're having quite a drought system in Arizona, especially northern Arizona is lagging behind the valley. The valley got inundated with the storm system this year, and we really didn't get much. We got a little bit, I'm not going to complain. Any precipitation is my precipitation. Yeah, so it's been super dry, so we had to haul a lot of water, and we had to buy a lot of feed for the sheep and the other animals. All right, now I'm pouring in, I've got 4 cups of beans. That means I need 16 cups of water. So 2, 4, 6, 8, I need to be able to see where the line is. Kind of notorious for overfilling my Instapot. Don't be like me. Okay, we are getting there because the chicken is frozen, and so it kind of pokes up a bit. I'm gonna put one more in. All right, that's about all I think I can reasonably do. The other ingredient is peppercorns and salt. Peppercorns, where are you? Peppercorns. Where are you? There you are, peppercorns. Peppercorns. Whoops. Knocking things over in my pantry cabinet there. And put some peppercorns in there. Gonna put some sea salt in there. And I love creamy beans. So the secret to creamy beans, even if they're old grocery store beans, is just a tiny bit of baking soda. There we go. And how about just a little bit of chipotle? All right, I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to cook that for 45 minutes. Oh, excuse me. Need to do that. Those peppers just really, they filled me with mucus. All right. Pressure cook high for, we're going to do 45 minutes. No, keep warm. Let's get going. All right, folks. So that is a typical Instapot make here on the homestead. Pretty much every ingredient grown here through a labor of love. And I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to see more live streams. I hope you have a blessed holiday and that all the things to be grateful for are showering upon you. Cheers and blessings.